Hello everyone, welcome to Setran Firiz YouTube channel. And I'm Gökçe. I am honored to be your host today. Thank you for joining us, whether you are live from your computer or you are watching the recording later. Um, for our older listeners, they are know us either from previous online events or they were with us during the UNCSW in New York. But for the first time listeners, Settemfree is a women-led organization working to raise awareness about injustice and advocate for human rights and empower the young voices like our panelists today. So whether it's through painting, music, writing, or design, people around the world are shaping the conversation, building empathy, and imagining better futures, all through the stories they choose to tell. So today we will hear from three brilliant women who use different tools to speak up, connect with others, and actually be the change. After our panel session, each of our panels, they're gonna share the sample of their work and share the background studies, and they're gonna give the final reflections. And before we start, I just want to say it is not just sit and watch event. We want you to engage, reflect, and maybe even inspired. So at the end of the today, if you want to share your story with us, please reach out from our social media accounts. So let's know our panelists. The first one is Rayhan, and she is self-published writer and painter. She is in her first year of studying business and technology. And from her words, she's been creating from a very young age, and she is hoping to continue that. So first of all, Rehan, welcome. One more time, we did a panel together before. It was great, and today's going to be great too. And I'm going to dive in the first question. And I know from your background, despite your young age, you have a lot of experiences. You experience different cultures. You were born in Turkey, totally different culture, but you are growing up in here and sharing your stories in a different audience maybe you were used to before. So my first question is, how do your personal experiences slash background shape the way you tell your stories? And like, do you ever feel the art helps how you express those emotions, those feelings? And also how, can you share a specific moment when you create those art that help that process that digest that personal experiences?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all.
Yes.
For the first question, I think that whenever I sit down to paint or create something in general, I never know where it's gonna take me. It's basically like a train ride with like no destination. So, with a lot of the emotions that come through with past experiences, uh, I think that I'm just able to, just sit down, pick up my brush, and then I never know what is gonna happen.
Mm.
Um, I think the best part of it is when I'm finally done with my piece and I personally get to see what's there because I never know what's gonna come out. Uh, I'm sorry, was there a second part to that question? Did I respond to that correctly?
Yeah, but maybe I can add this, like when you made those arts, like have you feel that you've been truly seen and understood by others? Maybe I can add that. And do you feel like you've been understood, but at the same time, what do you expect
Um,
others to feel when they saw when they see your work?
I think that a lot of people usually react with like a surprise or maybe fascination. They usually comment on the abstractness of the art. I may show in a second. It is pretty abstract and like there is no necessarily clear picture to analyze. I think that what I want people to feel when they see my art is that they're heard and understood in a way. They can feel the emotions that I felt through making that piece. It doesn't necessarily have to be very positive emotions. I just want them to feel human and understood. I think that for me personally, um, I never started painting or started writing to be understood by others. I think it's more so about understanding myself and who am I. Um, Definitely like more than what other people think is how what do I feel about my own experience and who am I? So when I'm putting my work out there, it's not necessarily a question of how are other people gonna feel about this, but more so of how can I connect with other people through this, and am I being true to myself? Am I being truly clear as to who I am as a person, who I'm growing into when I'm putting my work out there?
Wow, oh, that's a great answer. Thank you. But so can we say you're doing it to understand yourself, but maybe we can add that you are expecting people to explore themselves when they see your art as well and understand them.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
that's a pretty cool answer. So, coming to my second question, I also know like you are really active about like human rights advocacy. You attend those online panels. You also do like exhibitions, I believe, and you try to talk about that, raising awareness. So, Turkey was kind of the same. Unfortunately, the country, everybody, everywhere is getting kind of polarized. So we are sometimes hesitant to share our thoughts because there are too many difference, but people sometimes also sharing different ideas in a way is not nice, let's say. So have you ever felt like nervous or hesitant to share your work on human rights issues, like especially when you put your kind of work out in the world? Like how do you handle criticism or like different opinions?
Yeah, I think that's a very big topic that all of us are re like talking about, artists, non-artists, everyone is talking about this because it's been really hard to put a word out there for how we really feel about the injustices that we or others experience. Me personally, I unfortunately experienced a lot of unjust experiences as a child mostly. And I've been growing to learn how to deal with those, and art has been there. I remember I've been creating for a very long time. So I think creating in general and putting emotions out there has been like a big step for me. And for people who are afraid of speaking or criticism, it is hard to talk about those things, and I believe even though my art shows like a very specific emotion about unjust experiences and the emotions that they bring out, I feel that only my close family and friends are generally able to analyze what I'm talking about there. So I don't think I ever t thought about, oh, how are people gonna criticize this, you know? Because I think that even though people are gonna criticize what I'm putting out there, um, that is their opinion and totally respectable, but I've learned to understand that my experience and other people's experiences with injustice is their reality. So whatever I'm feeling, what my emotions are, what I experienced is the reality for me. And I learned to accept that and understand myself more. So critique isn't usually a big part of it, I'd say. I definitely think that the artist and the work should be criticized, but without the artist's story in general, for all artists, the pieces are incomplete, in my opinion. So I'd say that no matter how much the work is criticized or misunderstood by others, it is not the whole story, and I think there's a mystery in not knowing the whole story. And I think that should be kept. So I believe everyone should speak up no matter what, should not be scared of being criticized because it's their true story.
True. Like you said at the end, if it's true, it's a fact. So no matter what other people thinks, it stays there as a truth. Uh, I guess the only difference is how we perceive and how we reflect that fact. Um, well, it's gonna be maybe like on the spot question, but I decided to like combine with the third one. My third question is, let me start with that first. Like, if someone your age want to use art to talk about injustice, but they did not know where to start, and what advice you would give them. And on top of that, I want to add, maybe you can, if you're comfortable with it, of course, like if you can specific example that you had that, okay, maybe right now it's tough for me, but like I'll stand up and say what I think is, what I believe in.
Okay, so I think that if someone young wanted to use art to speak their mind, and about injustices, I think that they should start to create, not to prove a point, not to have a say in something, but again, to understand themselves and the world around them, whether that's anger, frustration, or feeling unheard. Starting with that emotion, I think, is very vital. I think taking those negative emotions and putting them out there directly is a very good start with creating, because I feel that a lot of those heavy emotions usually turn out to be, for a lot of people, very great artistic outcomes. And to speak up about things is not easy, but to understand the process of it, to get through those emotions, I think it is pretty necessary. It can be painting, singing, writing, music, or like simply observing life, what's around you, and like seeing the art around you on its own, I think is part of the same process, is a part of witnessing what is really going on around you, about the people, about politically unjust situations. Uh, so we don't have to understand everything we witness. Sometimes it's just enough to like feel all of the emotions that are coming to us with it. I'd also say that injustice has always been around. I think injustice has always been around, and maybe it will be, but so has resistance, so has the hope and the will to resist the unjust situations and the systems. This doesn't mean one has to fix everything. It just means that they must respond in a way that makes them feel truly seen for themselves. Um, I think that people should listen to others when they want to be heard, read when they don't understand the situation, create when they want to be seen by themselves or by others. So I think that's a pretty important step to it. And again, I think there's a lot of misconception about being understood, because even though we may understand each other, it's not always the full picture. And Frida Kahlo actually like talks about this in a very simple quote. She says, "I never paint dreams or nightmares, I paint my own reality." So when a lot of artists create, it is people have certain opinions. They're like, "Oh, I thought this would be more beautiful, less chaotic, more expressive in a way that's not scary. But reality is what it is, and we all should put it out there no matter what. I'm not sure if I responded to all the parts of the question. Did I miss anything?
No, I think I did. I mean, you did in a way, in a good way. Like you express yourself very well, and maybe it kind of my question bring that old question: what is art for? Is it for art? Is it for people? Because, like as you said, like we don't like it's also for to get through those emotions. It's the way to get through those emotions. It's the way to feel them. So it doesn't have to be always like you said, like not to prove the point. Maybe just to feel what happened to you and then express that in
Yeah.
a more healing way. Maybe I don't know, you guys are the artists, you'll express your emotions in that way. I'll just like observe and I feel like, well, okay, this is it looks like it's working. And well, thank you so much again. We'll come back to you at the end. I'm pretty sure you're gonna also talk about your upcoming book, and we'll back to you during the
Yes.
workshop,
Thank you so much.
of course. Well, I'll
Thank
come
you.
to my second speaker, Mehru Selma. And she is a musician. I mean, she's known as a musician, but she also designer for the first time, if people heard that, and who explores storytelling through sound and visual aesthetics. So Mehri is a junior at Wayne Hills High School, and in the future, on top of those incredible art skills, she's planning to get a law degree. So Mehru, one more time, welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Like she said, my name is Mehra Erkişi. I'm a junior at Wayne Hills High School, and I really like doing mostly music, and I started designing patchwork hoodies and clothing just about a year ago. And I've been involved in music as playing instruments and singing in choruses ever since I was a little kid, as in a baby. Due to my parents also being musicians, I was always involved in concerts and chorus groups and instrument classes and bands. And it's just what I grew up with, and I really like it.
Thank you so much for this great introduction. Actually, you also made the introduction for my first question because I was about to ask, like, kind of similar to Rehan's first question, like, how do your personal experiences shape the way you tell stories? And, like, do you ever feel that art, also music, maybe to be more specific, helps you to express things maybe you may not be able to express because you are coming from an artistic family and maybe it's the first language was music, then maybe even English, then Turkish. So maybe I assume it might be the more comfort zone to express your feelings. Is it that way?
I feel like it's the music itself and what gets you to perform. In order to perform, you need good communication skills. Not only when you're speaking, but also bravery when you go in front of people, whenever you want to perform, or even like introduce an instrument that's not known to everyone else. Like for example, every culture has different instruments. When someone asks you, "Oh, what is this? What is that?" You need to build up the courage and the history and bravery in order to explain the instrument or the music that you're introducing to them. And also, I feel like um, music is written in words that people wouldn't really be able to express themselves with. Um, it's like it's like your inner voice. It's like your inner voice to when you're trying to express yourself, but you can't say it. But so people put it in music in order to express themselves. And that's why a lot of people are able to relate to these songs. And yeah.
Great answer. Thank you so much. Like as you said, it's might be easier because this is how we actually built up the languages, right? It started as a voices, then become the languages. Maybe that's why our inner voices maybe a bit more
Yeah.
suitable for music. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And oh, uh, it's gonna be a bit different question than others maybe because like you are our youngest panelist here, and but like as Reyhan, you've been doing human rights advocacy. You've been with us before also. Like, what makes you believe that the art? Obviously, you believe that. Like, I'm not gonna ask, do you believe storytelling through art can make a real change? Obviously, you believe and you do. But like, how do you think that change can be possible? What makes you believe?
Storytelling through.
What makes? Oh, sorry.
No,
If
no,
I'm
you
gonna
can.
add a little bit more, maybe like what makes you uh give that like that inner force, that passion, that like that believe, okay, I can do this and it's gonna, create a change.
Yeah. So I feel like there are a lot of inequalities in our world. A lot of people are going through different hardships in life. Me and my family also went through a lot of hardships, and I feel that I also feel the need to express my thoughts and feelings to all the people that are going through hardships around the world because my family and I came here um, facing horrible hardships, and I'm living a good life right now, and I feel like it's a great chance to advocate for the people around the world that are also going through really hard times. And I also feel like I said, it's the inner voice. I feel like, and I see this in when my parents are also performing. It's like my dad and my mom, they say such heart it touches your heart, literally. They say lyrics and words that they probably wouldn't be able to say in real life to someone. And I feel like it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, or any ethnicity. We're all going through hard times, and it doesn't have certain subtopics. It's just hard times. And I feel like music really helps other people relate to that, because some it is specific, but it's not specific to a point where it differs people, you know?
Thank you so much. Yeah, you were like maybe that the advocating for others, that's the need is one thing, but also we need to you said like need to feel express myself. It was always inside, it just maybe come out.
Yeah.
And um well, it was a great like answer. You kind of also answered my third question, even with the first two. You guys are so well, so easily and perfectly express yourselves then, and I was like really impressed, and I bet our listeners also like impressed and inspired by you guys. But I'll still ask my first last question by making a little bit changes maybe. You being sharing your work, your stories in like this kind of environments, but if you remember your first experience, like coming to the stage and talking about the issues you want to touch in, or the advocate for others, like you said, like how was that like first, okay, I am standing from my work and my beliefs.
I remember the first times that I came to America, I rarely knew English and the language that people spoke here and the way they did things. And when my family was I mean, like all families, they were traumatized. They were kind of scared to express their thoughts and feelings and what they went through. And I guess it just passed on to me because I also realized like everything that was going on around me. And I remember there was a lot of other Turkish people that were asking me, oh, like, how did you come here? Why did you come here? And I was actually really scared to explain to them what happened and how it really happened and who we are because of everything going on around the world. And when I did, people weren't really respectful. Even Americans, like, obviously, I'm not saying like all Americans, obviously, like, there's just some people, even your own people, even like, there's people that are quote unquote opposing your country and your beliefs, but they are also respectful to you. But there are people that are going to be disrespectful, and I had to deal with that at such a young age. And I guess it did make me insecure, but at some point in your life, I don't know if it's anger, I don't know if it's motivation, but I decided that I mean we're all people and that I just need to get out there and show these human beings that we're all the same and people can go through things, but we have to all accept that and we have to get through it together, you know? Was there another question that
Well, no, actually, you kind of, I was asking if like you remember the first, but you gave it like perfect general answer, which is like, I'm perfectly glad. If you want to add something more, go ahead.
Mm. um I also remember, well, music wise, that I was really shy. Just like it can be small topics or big topics. Sorry, such as going from a whole different country, um going from your home country to a whole different country. It happened the same in music. When I first came here, I really liked singing. I really liked playing instruments. Um, but it's hard to express yourself when it comes to music because you really have to be brave, and some people just, you know, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. mm, some people generally people could think that, oh, it's just music, oh, it's just art, it's just design, but it could mean the world to that person. It could mean um so they could be going through so many hardships in order to, I don't know, paint or play the song. Because when someone is going through really hard times, or even if they're just happy, they want to express their feelings in the best way possible. That's going to make them feel great as well. And that takes a lot of courage, you know, when your mental health is not the best, or when your mental health is at the best, it just takes a lot of courage, and you have to be comfortable and confident in order to express your thoughts and your talents.
Great answer. Thank you so much. Well, talent is maybe one thing, but as you said, like the courage and the need of expressing yourself, maybe the what, come to art, the surface from your heart. I believe not brain, art comes from your heart. And thank you so much. And we'll come back to you again during the workshop time when you're gonna share your story. But right now, I am coming to my very last panelist, who is also our board member. So maybe some of you know her. And Bushra, in her professional lab, has a teaching and procurement experiences. But since I know her, which is like more than 5 years right now, she's been always involved with art. She's been either writing, drawing, painting, like Mehru, making patchwork, remaking the clothes while listening audiobooks. So of course, like beside her personal experiences, which mostly inspires her work, but her beloved cat Zeze was also a major inspiration of her work. So Bishra, welcome. I'm so
Thank you.
excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I am very excited to be here also.
So, like others, I just want to also be respectful with time, and I'll just ask my first question right after.
Of course.
How does storytelling through art differ from other forms of activism in terms of like emotional impact or the way it encourages empathy? Because I know you've been involved with, besides being a set and free board member, you've always been either involved actively or like emotionally involved with all the human rights advocacy, all those activism, and you're a huge empath also. I know you feel happy and sorry for all. So go ahead, and what's your own opinion compared to other ways of, the activism?
I see. Thank you so much, Gökçe. I'm really, really excited to be here today, and thank you so much for giving me this chance, actually. So like I'm an immigrant also. I left my home to seek better education years ago. And also like a better life as a woman, to be honest, in this world, like wherever you go, like you need to watch your back by yourself. So that experience, actually leaving behind so much to start over, taught me how powerful it is, like hold on to your values and hold on to your voice. So that's why storytelling through art has become for me a way of the resist, rebuild, and reclaim like whatever I have. So for me, like art doesn't like shout, it invites. So whatever I make something, I create something, either a painting or a garment, like I remade something, I repurposed something. I believe like people drawn into by colors and textures, but what really holds them in the story. It asks them to feel something, not just like understand it, like how Rayhan said, like at that point, like you don't expect anybody to like understand your feelings or like what you really went through. But like even though like knowing somebody looking at your work and seeing like, oh, like there's an emotion here, there's a story here. They don't have to like know the exact story, but they know there's a story here and it's very human. That's very valuable. So when I turn an old shirt into something new, it's more than a creative project. It's a story of memory or care, or also like it's a rebellious act, like you're just like stand up for something. So for me, like when I repurpose clothes, remake something, sustainable fashion has always been political for me. So I started with that. Yes, it's fun, it's creative and everything, but it's a form of advocacy for me. And the sustainability is that on that level, it's like the big thing is environment, right? Like it's the first thing comes in our minds. But for me also, like to human rights in the form that like the right to a livable future for our like next generations or for our like times or like later on. So um, yeah, I mean, like standing what I believe against like unethical working conditions or like business practices, like doing what I'm doing, just like purchase like basic necessities, but like whatever I have, like I can turn into anything and I learn it by myself. And that also like making something, creating something, you already has this t-shirt but you can make it a bag from it or pillowcase from it. So anything like it also like creates different type of courage to empathy, you know, like for the environment, for the future generations. So yeah, I think I can answer that your question in that way.
Thank you. We talked we talked on this before with you, and maybe it's going to be kind of related with my second question too. So I'll ask the question first, then do my question. Like, do you think everyone has the potential to be an activist through storytelling, like even if they are not artists? But we also, like you said, like it's just like creating that emotion, creating like the touching what's inside there. Because you said that to me actually. There's a saying, like there's a protest song. It's the genre in Turkey. Actually, this is how it started, you know. It started with that storytelling.
Yes.
So I bet those like protest songs, well, they are coming from artists. It's like Kardeş Türküler and other groups like they do. But like even it started with the slogans. It started with the word with singing again actually. So I can guess your answer on this. So but still please share for the audience, like again, like do you think everyone has the potential?
Yes, absolutely. I believe everybody has that space to do that. Storytelling belongs to everyone in my mind and in my heart, to be honest. You don't need a gallery or a stage or like I mean, yes, like the creativity, like ability and skills, like drawing skills. I always think like I don't have a drawing skills, but like when I have a brush on my hand or like I don't know, like a pencil in my hand, like it just kind of like it make it happen. And it doesn't have to like mean something for everybody, but like at that point, like staying true to myself, I try to understand my emotions and like observe them, like witness them. Uh, then I saw like, well, oh, actually, like I can do this, you know, like I can express myself or like what I'm believing in this way. So you just need the courage to share your truth at that point. I am not like Rehan or Mehruin here. Like I don't like share my art that much. Besides like my loved ones, like I make like clothes for them, like for the birthdays and stuff. But like I just like start like something like small in my life. Maybe I'm just like one person like doing this, which is with the social media. It's like there is a lot of like we use like platforms like people does these with the different reasons. Doesn't matter. We are like doing something good for like next generations or our environment. So yeah, I mean I believe like everybody can be activists through storytelling, through art, through cooking, like whatever they do, you know, like in their life to change little things and share that with even one friend. That one friend is going to share with another friend. That other friend is going to share with another friend. So like that, like change happens like that in this life. So the act of choosing to care, especially in a world that rewards apathy, is radical, and storytelling helps people find the courage to care out loud for me. So
Yeah, thank you so much. Like you emphasize like with this question and the first one a couple times, like you said, like hold on to your voice, like staying true myself, like definitely whatever comes inside and like staying true that true to that and then expressing. But you also like give example cooking as a way of expressing, as a way of art, as expressing yourself. And definitely, and I just realized I forgot that, but there was one Instagram account like who was sharing the Palestinian food since the war got worse. And it was like I'm not sure, like either Korean or like some like Central Asia or like the Asia countries. And I was like, oh, definitely husband or someone is around that culture. I checked it out. It was not. And since then, she's just sharing Palestinian food on her Instagram. And normally you look at it, oh, it's a cooking Instagram account, but no, like it is the way of
It's
activism.
a telling story for sure.
Exactly,
Yes.
it is,
Yes.
especially in this century with these tools and the technology. Well, I am impressed. Thank you for reminding us so to that like there's no a way that it cannot be art or there's no a person cannot be artist. Maybe we can like conclude that. Well, my last question comes from I when I was playing this question, I was like she has a teaching experience, she's been a board member, she has experience with the high schoolers, college students, and so she's gonna be the perfect person. Question is, how can schools and communities, because I know you've been also trying to be active within your like neighborhood, on your community. So you are really, I know you really care about giving back to community. So communities work together to support the young people in us in using storytelling to engage with social issues, and how the culture and community actually shapes the way these stories are told and also received.
That's a really good question, to be honest. I am not sure if I am the right person to ask, but thank you for speaking and thinking highly of me. I believe like yeah, I taught in high school for a year. I studied education. I am coming from the family who has educators, so like education is the key element for like everything, right? Like I mean, with activism, with like art, like with everything, like it gives us a like it should gives us a safe space to like explore ourselves or express ourselves. So schools needs to treat personal expressions as just as important as like academics or like successfulness, whatever that description is. We should be giving young people time and space and encouragement to tell their stories. That's the main and the real rule of this, I believe. Um, I start writing my first pieces around like a real things, I will say, around like middle school. And I do remember one of my teacher actually was really impressed by my like little essay homework, and he wanted to work with me. He was like give like advising books for me, and then asking me how I write these questions, like these pieces. Um, so and then he also like he didn't stop there. He called my parents. He asked them to like send me somewhere so I can like work on my writings. I can like um just try to like learn how to create like different things, how to like learn a like system, maybe a technique, maybe different like methods. So um I didn't take an education for that. I didn't had chance to do that, but I never stopped writing. Like whenever, like whenever I feel like good things or bad things doesn't really matter. Um, I just like I found my pen in my hand and like I just like start writing things. So like that encouragement that my teacher gave me back then, it built my type of like um sense of like self-confident, maybe, like even though I'm not going to create a book or like share my writings with everybody, it is like it pushed me to write. So that thing like pushed me to like try to like understand myself, understand my feelings, and also like how to communicate my feelings. That's the also like another important part, like the receiving part. So we can, I mean, every community, every type of community or schools, like they can create a workshops for kids to turn into like some clothes different things, or like get together and like do some arts. Like I try to do that with my friends. Like we do like art days and like create like little things.
Can I cut real quick? I'm gonna put that clothes pictures while you're talking. Please go ahead.
Oh yeah, of course you can definitely do that. So yeah, I mean like workshops, bringing the clothes they no longer wear, redesign them into a statement about like identity, like or culture, like whatever they want. That's not just the art, it's a learning to speak through your choices. So while doing these practices, we are like teaching young people to like that's how you speak through your choices. So support also means helping them question systems for me. My favorite symbol in this world is a question mark. So you can take like get my attention like this, like if there's like anything on the question mark on anything. So why are these like made cheaply? Who's affected? When you empower you to ask these questions and express the answer creatively, you're raising activists, not just students. And I think like we all like need that. Like the world needs that in my heart. So yeah, I mean, I can say like community schools, like culture itself. Also, if we create that culture, even like in the small environments, even in our houses, it's gonna like make a change, like in a, like a domino effect in future, I believe. um there's a lot of like practices like people do, like I still like get like so many ideas from like social media, like watching like some YouTube channels or Instagram channels, like they create something and you just like, oh yeah, like I can make this something like this with my kids or something like that, you know, or my with my siblings. So those like little things actually like create activists, maybe like a create activist mindset. Also, that's a safe space to like understand how you like what is your choices, what are you standing for, you know, like that part is like more like giving this space to understand and find ourselves in it, I can say.
Great answer. Thank you so much. Like you said, the raising, like teaching them, giving them the opportunity to raise their voice, share their story is one thing, but at the same time, like encouraging the questioning system, like questioning. Well, I of course I don't suggest like question everything, be too skeptical. There's no end. It's a rabbit hole, and question unless you know don't question that much unless you're a scientist, I'll say. But like not you know that way. But like
Exactly.
you said, creating that also the creating that courage to question some stuff, because like knowing your options is also important, because like what are you standing up for, like what is the thing, you know you are we always think like okay we are standing up so it's always true, maybe not, maybe the thing right now I'm standing for maybe it's not right, so it's on me to question, it's on me to find the what is the truth, like we talk with Rayhan, it's truth, it's fact, if it's like if I it's confirmed by me, if I like believe in it. So
Yeah,
that
I agree, and I also like want to add like when you question and when you have the courage to question, that's like the amazing thing that you mentioned on that way, because sometimes we don't have that courage to question systems or like what we are doing, like sometimes we don't even ask ourselves like how we feel, like what is our emotions, like how this makes me feel, you know. So that courage is really important, and like we can actually teach that courage and give that courage like in very young ages, because after that like it happened to me. Like I hit myself like wall to wall to understand like a lot of things. So about myself or in life or world, you know, like why these things happens and like why it's happening in this way and when I where I stand in this situation. So like you creating that like courageous culture to question and find their answer. It doesn't matter at that point like right or wrong. Like when you realize, oh, I was wrong, like that means like you can re-question again, you can find a better answer, or you can write the right answer at that for that point. Creating the like buying and throwing away culture, that's what we are like facing today as like as a young generation. That shows actually like how our like communities, our schools, our like creating the culture in our families is important, because right now we're just consuming, like consuming and consuming and consuming like endlessly. But like how about like creating something? How about giving back? How about like we can maybe like consume something but in a like healthier way, or like harmless way, you know? So that part is also like very important to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like before going to the workshop section, maybe I'll just add a little bit this, like as you said, like creating that safe environment also, because like you said, like until I find my way, I kind of crash a little bit. It's what happens actually with maybe our generation too. But I'm hoping for the upcoming generation that we can create that safe environment so they can safely re-question again and they don't um eat their patients too easily, if that makes sense, you know. But thank you so much again for joining today. We are not closing yet, so I'll go back to uh, it's either Mehri or Reyhan. Mehri, are you comfortable with your connection? We can go with you first.
Yeah, it would be good to go with me first because it's cutting a little bit, so
Okay,
I want to
perfect, perfect. So right now it's our the last section of this panel today. Each of our panels they're gonna share their story the way they wanna share, and we're gonna start with Mehru. Mehru, go ahead, please.
sorry. So I'm just gonna open my door so I could
Sure.
play comfortably here. So I want to play a song for everyone. This song is from Volkan Konak. He unfortunately passed away, not too long ago from a heart attack while he was performing actually one of his most famous songs. He was, um, sorry, I want to make sure if I'm not wrong, Baba, Karadeniz, right? Yes. He was Karadeniz, song performer. It's a place in Turkey. It's very beautiful. It's like a village. It's in English it's translated to Black Sea, if
Mhm.
anyone knows. So this is a song from him called Mimoza Çiçeğim. Canına koydum mimoza çiçeğim, saçlarını gördüm, çıma sevdiğim, avucun sevdiğim, çıkmaz, bıktım dağları, bıktım mimoza çiçeğim, başkası çok seveyim, elime sevdiğim, yaktın ciğerimi, yaktın aklıma sevdiğim. Öpüp okşayamam ben seni, boza çiçeksin, alacaklardan su derin çiçeksin. Değişmem dünyaya sen gitmesin, öpüp okşayan seni, boza çiçeksin,
Olacak yolun önüne şey misin? Düşmem yarası seni sevdim.
Thank you so much. We had time to time a little bit connection problem, unfortunately, but it was really great. But if you want to send us like full video right after like this event, maybe we can share on social media so everybody can have the full experience. Since you have the guitar already, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. That would be great.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back to Rayhan.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes, Rayhan, we are with you. If you want to talk about your book first, go ahead. Or is there, you send me, you start with your book if you want, and I'll bring the pictures you send me.
Okay, that's great. So I never knew that the paintings or the writings would turn into a book actually. Um, I just started creating and then one day I was like, I have too many of these and then I brought them together. And now it's turned into a book. I self-published it. Its Turkish version is called Ruhun Sazı, which I translated as Strings of the Soul, which is going to be the second version that is hopefully getting published. And it consists of all of the art pieces with poetry or like again abstract writing that kind of explain the paintings. Most of the writings correspond to the time of the paintings, so similar emotions or timeline as the other creation. And yeah, I shared a bunch of pieces with you, I think, on there, so I can go through those.
I like to give you a full screen.
Okay, so this is a very, is it
Okay,
open?
yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, it is
So the first one
full screen I can give right now. So, yeah.
okay, that's perfect. That's fine. The first piece is pretty much, I think this was in around 10th grade, that this was one of my third or like fourth pieces, I think. I created this in high school classroom actually. It took me, I don't remember how long. I never remember how long the paintings take me, but this was inspired by a song called On by Emel, which means dream, Rüya in Turkish. Uh and yeah, this is a smaller canvas. The second one is going to be my biggest piece ever.
Hmm. Oh, there are also like
Okay.
little bit writings under them. Are we allowed to zoom that, or do we have to wait to be published?
Yeah, you can zoom in on that. Those are the names of the paintings, both in Turkish and English. They actually complete a sentence for Turkish and English readers,
Okay.
for most of them, for the second
For
one
the first
especially.
time, yeah, this is this, and for the second painting, the dripping into Hayat. Do you want to explain
Yes.
a little bit more? How did it, come to have this piece come together? Because Hayat is a prayer,
Yes.
it's a heavy word to like in Turkish. Maybe you might want to explain a little bit more the background story of this painting.
Yes. Okay, so this painting was a lot of heavy emotions mixed in together. And I think throughout the process of creating this, I was kind of exploring like it may be because it was also college application season, but I was genuinely questioning what's the purpose of all of this. So there is a fetus, kind of like a baby in a fetal position right there. It's like a small, tiny one in blue right there.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of eyes. I usually don't know what is going on with it until the end, and then I can analyze it. The second name of the painting is in Turkish, which is Cihan'a Sığmazam, which is inspired by uh Turkish lyric from Ozan, I think. And I translated into English also. It's called Will Not Fit into This World. This is the biggest piece so far. Yeah,
Okay, do you want to go to the next one?
yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
this is about religion. This is about religion and it's called Upright Salvation, Haçına Elifim, which translates to the Elif to your crucifix. Elif is an Arabic letter in Turkish which means to stand up straight, and I kind of took that idea, and I have Christian friends and looking into the religions and the political aspects of like how they go together or crash into each other at times, or people, talking about these things. So it's called Upright Elif and then Salvation, the Crucifix. Um, it can be psychoanalyzed in a lot of ways, I think. It's like a lot eye looking upward in a way. For this one, it's called Burnt Letters, Belated Love, which is the Turkish version is Aşk-ı Beka, Eternal Love is the translation actually. Those are actual writing pieces that I took and burnt, and then I taped them onto the canvas after making this piece. And then I don't know what it says here, but on here it says Aşk-ı Beka koydum adını for Turkish speakers.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the same.
yeah. For the next one, this is an incomplete version of a piece, which I think I just put that because I think this stage was very like different from the others of the painting. And the English name is As the Flower of Freedom Blooms, and then the Turkish name is Ben, which means I, which I think that this piece was done at a time that I was genuinely feeling like I was finally blossoming into a new person after all of the things I'd experienced in Turkey. Um So yeah, this is what this piece is about. The book goes along with all of these writings, which are not the longest, they're short pieces, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are definitely excited when it's published. If there's a link that people can buy, definitely share with me or with one of our board members. If you're allowed of like if you
Yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah, of
let
course.
us to do, of course, like we can share, advertise. This is what we are here. Like at the beginning, I said we are here to advocate, yes, but also we are want to give the stage for the young people, young activists. So we would be
Thank
definitely
you so much.
we are excited. Congrats again, and I'll
Thank you.
come. Yeah, of course, I'll come to my final panelist who's gonna share, I don't know which work, Bushra. And if you want to start, please go ahead.
Yes, and I am waiting for that book, Rayhan. That was impressive and inspiring, seriously. So I don't know if I send you a picture or not, but I have my this piece with me here. I don't know if it's gonna let go the on the
That blur
maybe this
thing,
way.
yes. Maybe
Okay,
for a
so
second,
it's
close the blur effect per second, then if it's okay.
I don't think it's gonna let me.
Okay.
Does work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of.
8%.
I can send you a picture after this
Yes, yes,
if you
definitely.
want to. So this piece, like I said before, like question mark is like my favorite symbol uh, for longest time. So this kind of like reminds me to like reminding myself that I just need to show up for myself to like have that courage to question, if that makes sense. Um, and to show myself actually this like as a skeptical way, like that questioning things itself can be like very heavy emotion. It can like kind of like feel stuck in like certain points in our lives. But for like with the colors and everything, it was to just like reminding myself that like it's a beautiful thing to question, and then looking for things and being on the road, like like the like not the finding the destination, but the process itself is the beautiful part of like whatever you're creating is. So even there's like a final product at the end, when I look at it, like I don't look at it like, oh, like which colors I use or anything like that. I just like remember that moment, remember that feeling, that emotion that reminds me and shows me that's who I am, and I love what I am doing in this life. So I can.
Well, thank you so much. It's kind of emotional ending. It was so nice. It's a good reminder for all of us actually like love ourselves and because like I'm not sure if I'm um phrasing or saying in the right way, but like I guess someone said like life itself is activist action, you know, it's activist standing. So as like you said, loving, maybe like loving ourselves, not even, we don't have to maybe like, you know, we don't need like big stuff, right? Even with the small steps, like small questioning, like you said, being on the road, loving ourselves, putting an effort for our healing is actually an activism, a form of activism. And also it comes as a product, like you all guys showed, like it's definitely come to the surface if there's something in there, you know, scratching the walls to come to the surface, you know. And well, we lost our second panelist member because some connection issues, but we'll definitely say thank you to her that later too. But Reyhan and Bushra, thank you so much for coming today. I'll definitely have you both of you in the future. I enjoyed too much today. I hope you guys enjoyed too. And Reyhan, I hope you're gonna have great college experience. Business and technology is great, but also the arts and politics also great, and you're doing great stuff over there. So like you will have your
Thank you
both
so much.
thing and flying, and we are, you know, supporting you here whenever you need us. And of course, if you want to invite like one of your exhibitions or like, I don't know, signing event, is it called signing event? So after your book, just
Yeah,
let us know. Maybe we'll show up, maybe our listeners will show up. And
Yep.
that would
Bushra,
be great.
yeah, thank you so much for coming. And if you guys have like couple final things, thoughts you want to share, please do, or we'll say thank you to our listeners and say goodbyes.
I would like to just like add to everybody to say like activism isn't always loud. So sometimes like choosing just a little something is the rebellious act of in your life. So it is that we just like need to remember that like this matters. But I am so happy that you guys like include me in this, and you have a fan, Rayhan, so please like let us know. I'm going to be there. So thank you so much.
Uh, Thank you so much for having me. It was a great program, and I'm glad that we all got to discuss and talk about these things. And I hope it makes even the smallest bit of changes. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys again. And for our listeners, thank you for joining us today. You probably do already follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. But like I said at the beginning, if you want to share your story with us that we can share on social media, please reach out. If you don't want to share on social media, but just to share your story, still we would love to see, we would love to read. Please reach out. And until the next time,